Alrighty, greetings. Welcome back to Blackbird News, where everything is connected. How y'all doing? Good to see you. Thanks for joining in. What is this comment in reference to anything in particular, G. Demarest? Or is that or is that I don't know. I can't tell. If somebody's being sarcastic, sometimes. Trump would not effing anywhere in Canada. I don't know what that means. He wouldn't do what in Canada? Mike needs boosting? Are you sure? It sounds pretty loud to me. Is that better? All right. All right. We're here. What's up, Rockfin people? Denver, Osama. What is this? Magnetism can be actively changed by pressure. Say what? Permafrost is a ticking time. We're going to talk about a little bit about methane today. December, this is from now, 2023, huh? Well, but it's been ongoing, right? It's an ongoing problem. I mean, the permafrost is not frost. Not frosty. It's not staying frosty. It's not permafrost not anymore. It's semi-frost or variable frost. Get effing. Oh, you would not get anywhere in Canada? Oh, okay. A few weeks of extremely high temperature occurred in East Sea near Japan during the summer of 2021, when one particular current experienced record-breaking changes in dominant patterns. First significantly intensifying before weakening. Huh. Permamelt. That's the word I was looking for. Permamelt. No, actually, G. Demarest, I can't say that Trump is worse than Biden. I can't. I'm sorry. But that's just I don't know. That comparison is kind of a losing game, I think. You're comparing, rotten bananas to rotten apples. There's no, come on, which one's better? I don't know. But Biden is clearly worse than Trump right now. I mean, if you just look at what's going on, the country is falling apart. We started two wars. Inflation is just off the charts. The homeless are everywhere. People can't afford to live or to eat. We're sending billions of dollars to Ukraine and to Gaza, and things are absolutely off the rails. And Biden has done absolutely nothing for nobody. He's not doing anything for the climate. And, drilling is even domestic oil production is even up. There is absolutely nothing that Biden has done better than Trump, I don't think. Other than, and he can't even talk better than Trump. I mean, Trump can even out-talk Biden. And that's not saying much. And if you look at somebody's arguing for rotten bananas. I was just, whatever. So which one is Trump? Is Trump rotten bananas or is Biden rotten bananas? The thing is this. just COVID was kind of like a a thing out of nowhere. I say that. We'll say on the surface, this is what people think about COVID. COVID kind of came out of nowhere. But aside from COVID, I wouldn't say that things were spectacular in the country, but things weren't like running off the rails at the highest speed possible under Trump. I mean, he kind of kept things, and he didn't get us into any more wars, and he kind of kept things like somewhat stable. And then COVID came along, and then it was like, look how bad Trump has managed this, whatever. No, you're right, Delene. It's not just one person. You're right. It's somewhat ridiculous to put it on, but we'll call them regimes. The Trump regime or the Biden regime. So far, Biden is losing. If you want to have a scorecard of what's going on, Biden is clearly just is not winning at all in that race. And again, we're talking about a race between dumb and dumber, so it's not really a race. I don't know. America has never been good. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying if you're in a some kind of plateau position, or if you're just I don't know. I'm not really going to argue. Arguing the merits of Trump is actually probably a losing game too. Anyways. Gigabane says vitamin D is the solution to COVID and always has been. I said so from the start. Now the science is in. Yeah. A lot of people said that. Quite a few people said that. Quite a few doctors said that. And they actually censored people for suggesting vitamin D would be helpful. That is like, You're right. Corporations run the planet. It's not really. You have to correctly identify the problem before you can actually fix it. So. What's up, Twitter people? There's actually people watching on Twitter these days. No, there's actually quite a few people watching on Twitter these days. Well, this is a good one. Maybe we'll grab this tweet here while we're at it. Scotland is experiencing a pretty bad blizzard. I mean, the world has been teetering on the brink of World War III for a couple of years. I mean, I'm not gonna argue the merits of Trump because I think he was just another president, and did he do a few good things like not get us into war? Sure, that's great, but he still bombed he still bombed people indiscriminately. He still kept us in some wars. I mean, the deep state is powerful, though. I will say. And, let's thank Trump for Operation Warp Speed, the thing that gave us. I mean, I also think it's a strange thing. It's an interesting thing to me to say like a country can fall apart or come together under one president. Like 4 years, you know, government is a kind of a large, complex thing, right? It's a structure, a lot of moving parts, and when things are get into motion, you can actually put things into motion quite quickly. But I think for the most part, presidents generally just inherit problems and try and do their best to, or worst, to either manage it, correctly or incorrectly, and then pass those problems on to the next. Like 4 years is not in a span of time. 4 years is just like, real fast. And yeah, you have these long, arcing, things that are kind of in motion, right? As far as like global machinations, right? Political and global positioning, and things that have been put into place, put into motion like, years ago, maybe possibly decades ago, that come to fruition. Those things have nothing to do with a particular president, but a succession of presidents or a succession of government, whatever. Yeah, global solidarity. 4% of the world population, the U.S. is. But all of the emissions, most of the, lion's share of the emissions and lion's share of the wealth, lion's share of the extraction, consumption. Ooh, yeah. America is the new Roman Republic, the real Third Reich, sure. Yeah, I mean, we've been fascists for a while. We've been super fascist for a while. I don't know, when you hear people say like, "Oh, it's a threat to our democracy," okie dokie. Denver says, certainly appears like chaos is giving way to World War III. Maybe it's the WEF script for continued tension, polycrisis to wrangle in any remaining freedoms that present challenges, like free speech. Oh, for sure. I mean, they are running headlong into taking away any ideas that we still have, like basic, the right to the right to privacy is long gone. And when the right to free speech is gone, then it's there's not much left. There isn't much left after that. And and that all of that has taken place over a succession of presidents, right? From 9/11, from Bush through Obama. Bush hacked away at our civil liberties in the Patriot Act, after 9/11, and Obama continued. He was like, how about some more? How about we take away a couple more things from people? How about we get rid of this Smith Modernization Act? How about we just can propagandize people at will, and that's totally fine. How about we get rid of habeas corpus? That's totally fine. Obama was like, sure. How about this? How about some more? Yeah. Haven't seen Side Hustle in the chat in Rockford, and that's fine. Please, if you're out there, Side Hustle, feel free to not join in. Hopefully, you got my message when I I called him out the other day. Haven't seen HIMARS either, so hopefully these fools got the message that like they're not fooling anybody, because fools they are. Free speech is the last candle of hope that can reignite the public for greater empowerment. They must destroy free speech to succeed. Oh yeah, and that's the game right there. I mean, it's pretty much done already, right? We just accept that people get censored now, that people get deplatformed, that people have um, their their rights to complain or call out the people in charge, or the right to freely share information amongst themselves. We routinely we accept it as the norm now that people won't be able to do that. And then some people are cheering for it. Some people are like, the bad people are the ones with the free speech, the people with the speech, and they're saying the bad things, and they're making other people think the bad things, and we need to get rid of those people, and we need to turn them off. Those people are like the biggest useful idiots of ever of history. Yeah, if you're one of those people that's like, turn that person's right to speech off because they're bad and they're going to make the bad things happen, you're the biggest useful idiot that ever was. Good job. Poppy actually, so somebody's asking where Poppy is. Poppy does a lot of chores in the morning, and I think that my new time is a little too early for her. Kiev. Oh, Side Hustle, Slava, and Kiev. Yeah, I saw Kiev was running around somebody else's chats the other day. Kiev, it's all the same people. They're not fooling anybody. They're not fooling this guy. Yeah, whatever. Um, yeah, and we can go through the we can go through the list of moments in history when it all went wrong, and some people. I don't know. Personally, in recent history, it's just my personal opinion. Um, well, you know what's funny? Gigabane says, "What about climate denial? Surely the genuinely false stuff should be silenced." Well, I mean, I think people. So if people were, first of all, I think the effort to propagandize people and to silence people questioning the propaganda has led as a big player in people questioning climate change, right? Because climate change is an accepted narrative from the people in charge, right? So they just there's a big group of people that just like won't accept anything that the people in charge are trying to push, or trying to say this is a thing, it's a real thing that's happening. There's a lot of people that are just immediately skeptical of that, and you can blame the people in charge for that, not the people that think that. And on top of that, another layer to that thing is that there is a concerted effort, a well-funded effort to misinform people about climate change, and it's quite effective. It's very effective. It is very fashionable to question climate change, and so the fossil fuel companies have succeeded, absolutely succeeded in that messaging. So they're the ones that are actually using the pathways of communication to misinform. Those are the ones that are actually guilty of misinformation. Right? And there should be penalties for that. And I believe that there are laws around that. There are I think there's some laws regarding, just like genuinely intentionally misinforming people and causing harm with it. I think, but that's not. But you shouldn't just silence speech in general or misinformation in general. That's where the slope gets slippery, is when you just, very vaguely call something misinformation or disinformation, and then seek to silence people based on this vague whatever misinformation is. You have to If there's a criminal case or if there's a law broken, well, then you have to bring the case to court. You have to, name that this is what they did, this is what happened, and then, and go at it like that. But you can't just silence speech. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not with it. And that pushes people to, that's why everybody is completely confused about climate. Nobody knows what's going on with climate change because there's so many different lanes of misinformation, even among people that understand climate change, right? There's the establishment, academic climate change people who won't admit that, we're far worse off than they're trying to tell you, like, well, hope we don't hit the 1.5 guardrail by 2050. That'll be bad. Well, hope that we can electrify the grid and everything before 2050 so that we don't hit one point. Like, those people are fully invested in that messaging, and that's a big load of shit. That's a big load of misinformation. None of that is going to help anybody or help the planet or help the climate. None, so there's just so many so many ways that people are just being like completely misled. It's unfortunate. But I don't think silencing people is the way to go. I really don't. I don't. And for the people that are like, well, but you block people on your channel. Yeah, I'm not saying they shouldn't have a right to speak. I block people that just harass me or are here with ill intentions. That's not the same as taking away somebody's right to speak. Like, you can speak all you want. You just can't come up here and harass people. Like, that's the different thing. Go somewhere else and harass people, right? There's a million channels out there. There's a million places you can go and go blah, 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 blah. Do that, have fun. Why aren't the Amish getting COVID? Right, Darlene? Why aren't Africans getting COVID? Why didn't the Haitians get COVID? It's funny. That was a funny story. I don't want to tread into too many. That might be a conversation better saved for Rockfin. But good question. Great questions. All right, let's do we'll post this up real quick. It's good headline. I mean, people are so confused about what's going on with climate change that it's really hard to even get a these are really great questions you guys have in the chat. I do want to save that discussion for Rockfin, though, because I just don't want to walk into a slapdown. I really don't. Not today. Not today. Ryanair's Michael O'Leary. There isn't enough cooking oil in the world to power one day of green aviation. The explosive airline boss with a big bonus. What a big bonus you have there. Looming sees the need for climate action, but points out ships and cars are big emitters too. Oh, all right. How about another round of disinformation? Somebody says we seriously need people like him in the mining companies to start saying it like it is. Yeah, I'm telling you, alternative aviation fuels ain't going to happen. Not anytime soon. Maybe we'll make leaps and bounds in the future. And the idea of like battery powered airplanes that can carry more than like 3 people or 2 people ain't going to happen. Not anytime soon. Ain't going to happen. We are decades away from that kind of stuff. But I could be wrong. There could be like massive, they could be hiding some, next generation or 5 generation down the road battery technology that they're all hoarding. I don't know. Steve Austin says, well, at least this asshole's honest. Oh yeah, something to be said for an honest asshole, right? At least you're not smiling and grinning and lying to me through your teeth. Let me see. Sounds like a good. We were talking about Trump versus Biden earlier. Sounds like a good analogy for something. These people are collecting checks all the way to the end of the planet. So, and for the people that think that climate change isn't real, because these guys are still buying houses on the coastline, and they're still ramping up oil production, and they're still doing no, it's that they don't. It's not that it's not real. It's that they don't care. They're going to destroy the place where you live. They don't care because they're making money. You ever read the book, The Lorax? I don't know. I say this all the time. Sorry for being a broken record. They will just cut down all the trees until there aren't any trees left, and they'll go, oh, darn, shoot, what do we do? Dang. That's just... I did see a battery-powered ship that was kind of fresh the other day. He says, I'm generally a believer that technology and human ingenuity will overcome climate change. I have no doubt that we will not decarbonize because we tax people more. Okay. There you go. Yeah, that'll make you a fan of the people. Norway has battery ferries. That's good. Yeah, G. Demarest battery airplanes in BC. They're small though, right? At some point, the weight of the batteries, the differential, and how much you can store in the batteries, the weight and the storage of the battery, outpaces the ability to actually carry things in the air. Battery ferries, yes. The battery ferries will come bless us one day. But I don't know. Maybe he's right. Maybe human ingenuity will outsmart the climate change. I think human ingenuity needs to outsmart the human. It's funny. Somebody was saying something about fighting climate change, and I was like, "You're not fighting. Climate change is not the thing that you're fighting. What you're fighting is, the the way in which the thing that makes the climate change happen, which is called human beings, and the way in which we organize ourselves on the planet. So it's like you're not fighting climate change. Climate change is not something outside of us. It's actually inside of us. If you're going to fight climate change, you actually have to fight the kind of low vibrational operation of human beings in general. I don't know how you do that. I honestly don't know. Do y'all think that humans are evolving, or devolving? Are we Devo or Evo? Anybody? Gigabane. There. Oh, that's a scary idea. Um, it's springtime for Hitler in Germany, of course. It's a great little tune. I mean, I actually think Rich Diana. Yeah, I think you might be. The Descent Has Begun. Idiocracy was a documentary. Bella de-evolving for 500,000 years. Okay. I don't know. I mean, the jury's out in my brain. I feel like on some levels humans are evolving, can evolve. We have the capabilities. Um, the problem is, are we going to do it? We're going to need we're going to need like a massive consciousness shift, which could happen. Right now, that's one of the reasons why they're trying to get rid of free speech. The internet is actually a pretty fantastic tool for evolution. And I know I'm probably, a lot of people are like, "What are you talking about, stupid?" Or maybe somebody agrees with me. I don't know. I actually think that the internet is a massive, massive tool for evolution, or for fast evolution. Right? We can really speed things up. We could really like make things happen quickly. We can actually change people's minds and their consciousness rather quickly. With the technology that we have at hand. The problem is that the powers that be understand this completely, and that's why they're trying to shut down free speech. That's why they're trying to censor everything. That's why people are warning, people such as Whitney Webb and other people are warning that there's going to be like a massive like internet outage, and then they're going to bring it back as like a highly controlled entity, because they don't. The evolution is a danger to the people in power. The evolution is a danger to the people who are cutting down the truffula trees and trying to sell you the things that you need. Right? But if we could have a massive consciousness shift, and I actually think it's not outside the realm of possibility in my lifetime. I don't think that's outside the realm. I think it's actually quite possible. We need to do it really fast, like really, really quickly, and I just don't know. I just don't see it, because there's too many people out there still trying to get themselves a Hemi or a Hemi 4x4 or a Hemi. There's still too many people out there that are like, I need my stuff. I need my stuff, man. You better not get, don't keep me from getting my stuff. I need it. There's just way too many, bing bongs out there that live like that. And I'm sorry to call you a bing bong if that's who you are. If I'm talking to you, you're kind of a bing bong. I'm sorry. You're going to have to like grow up a little bit. Poppy is back. Poppy is back. Poppy, you were a, but we could evolve quite quickly. Can we evolve quickly enough to take out the power structure and rearrange ourselves on the planet so that we don't destroy ourselves? I don't know about that. Don't know about that one. That's a really good movie right there, right? I want to see that movie. The movie where human beings like wake up and do a massive consciousness shift and save themselves from utter destruction. Like I want to see that movie. Okay, man, it's already getting late in the day. Let me at least cover these news things. Here's how to tell we've gone too far. Revenge travel should be considered traveling into collapse. Revenge travel will continue to be a major trend in 2024. What is revenge travel? I correctly thought it might have something to do with COVID and people being locked down. They wouldn't let me travel and do all the things. So I gotta get it. I mean, I'm kind of seeing. I think that happened in L.A. Not revenge travel, but revenge, like just everything. Revenge driving, revenge doing. You know, everybody was like locked down in their house. I was like, this is cool. I don't have to get in my car and drive anywhere today or tomorrow or the next day. Awesome. But a lot of people just did not like that. And so when everything opened back up, it was just more people than ever, just more people than ever, just more people and cars on the road. And, you know, everybody's doing everything. Wow. How vengeance became a thing. This is revenge travel. As more and more countries reopen their borders to eager tourists, a trendy new phrase has emerged on social media: revenge travel. The term has been used to describe trips as varied as family reunions, big splurge vacations, and revisits to favorite places, which leads to one question. So what is it? Revenge generally has a negative connotation, which contradicts the joyful, excited feeling so many people have about making their first vacation in 2+ years. But the idea of revenge travel seems to be more about loving to travel rather than expecting a specific designation to make amends. Perhaps revenge travel can be interpreted as getting revenge against the pandemic or against COVID itself. Yeah, so it has to do with post-pandemic travel. It's another way of saying, hey, life is short. I want to book that trip. I want to spend more time with family. I want to connect with humanity and with nature. I want to explore the world and seek experiences that make me feel alive. Sure. Even at the cost of the planet, it's fine. It's fine. Right. Creative experiments. Not revenge against CEOs. Not revenge against the people that, yeah, right. Revenge against the planet, basically. Somehow it's always the planet that gets the short end of the stick. I don't think the prefix revenge is appropriate to what travel should be about. It's an ugly term. It is. Because it's kind of an ugly thing. Anyways. There's that. 2023 has been a year like none before. Hey, William, I don't know where William went. William, I saw you there. Sorry, man, I didn't answer your call, but I could take your call later. I did. I think, I don't know. I don't know. We went all over the place today. 2023 has been a year like none before. It started with thousands of records in Europe on the 1st of January and will end on December 31st with widespread records. Hottest spot will be Northwest Australia, which can reach 49C on the last day of the year. 49C. A record year from start to the end. Max Wilbert. Tesla and Toyota EVs include nickel from a mine in Palawan, the Philippines' last ecological frontier where mine expansions are clear-cutting pristine jungle. Gasoline-powered cars are implicated in similar harms globally. Sure, for sure. For sure. Let's keep going. Shakova. Natalia for Shakova. Wonder if more Arctic methane also means more stratospheric methane oxidation. So more vapor and heat trapping clouds is fueling this warming. Here, the worst poker face Shakova presenting methane emissions in Vienna. I want to look at this post just for a second because it's pretty interesting. He was retweeting this, and I'm kind of. I wish there's a little more context around this. Plus 55C over the new base. I'm taking what the baseline in stratospheric temperature. Sudden stratospheric warming coming. Oh, you guys can't see this here. Sudden stratospheric warming coming. This will deeply affect the weather shortly after. The elites will be in their bunkers soon. That sounds scary. And this is at... So this is stratospheric temperature. And he's retweeting this that I already had from Peter Dines. The jet stream is broken. Rolling Rossby waves means the polar vortex is wobbling all over the place for the next few weeks. This will throw cold weather all over the place depending on where it moves. The UK is next in line for a cold snap. Thomas Rees says these polar stratospheric clouds have a similar effect on climate as greenhouse gases. They trap heat which would otherwise be lost to space and warm the surface of the Earth. These clouds form under complex conditions, which most climate models cannot reproduce. Anyways, I think I got... So I don't, I'm just putting that out there. I don't know if that means that, sudden stratospheric warming means, the end of civilization as we know. I don't know, man. But it's, bringing us the wild and the wacky. There's been awful flooding in northern Thailand. Caitlin Johnson, I used to think it was wrong for Israel to be killing tens of thousands of Gazans with airstrikes and starving hundreds of thousands with siege warfare. But then Israel apologists informed me that some Palestinians did mean things to Israelis in the past, so now I support it. I don't know if I'm going to come... Well, it's already late in the show. What Israel is doing in Gaza... Well, let me read this whole thing. I think I did a little too much blabbing earlier. My bad, y'all. What Israel is doing in Gaza would only be unethical if everyone in Gaza were a perfect little cherub who'd never committed any violence or done anything wrong, ever. I could see getting upset if the IDF was raining military explosives upon a giant concentration camp full of squishy marshmallow-like beings made of pure love and conceived without original sin who do nothing but coo and sing lullabies all day. But in reality, the concentration camp is populated by beings who are not nearly that perfect. I hear people calling this a genocide, but that's ridiculous. What's been explained to me is that the assault on Gaza is completely different from all the genocidal massacres you've read about in history because the Israelis believe what they are doing is right. See, this time the ones who are carrying out the mass-scale extermination programs and ethnic cleansing plans have reasons for doing so. As we all know, in a proper genocide, the perpetrators have no reasons for carrying out their mass extermination programs and ethnic cleansing plans. They do it solely, they do it solely because they are evil and like doing evil things. In a proper genocide, the perpetrators historically spend most of their time cackling like cartoon supervillains and talking about how delightfully evil their genocidal actions are. This isn't like that at all. You see, the Israelis sincerely feel that the population they are eliminating is very bad, and they believe removing that population will make the land a much better and safer place to live. They see the Palestinians as a major problem, and unlike a proper genocide, they are simply trying to find a solution to that problem, which will be permanent and final. So when you see Israel apologists defending Israel's actions in Gaza, please try to keep in mind that they're just helpfully explaining that the Israeli government has reasons and motives for doing what it's doing, and that it believes what it is doing is correct, and if this were a proper genocide, that wouldn't be the case. You've seen what genocide looks like. It looks like Nazis rounding up Jews and killing them. Are the Israelis wearing swastikas? Are the Palestinians Jewish? No? Okay, then. That proves this cannot possibly be a genocide, because if it was, it would look exactly the same as a previous historical instance of genocide in every conceivable way. It's not even in the early 1940s right now. It's a completely different time period, like duh. So relax, everything is fine. This isn't a genocide, and if it is, we can read about it in our history books later on and be sure to get it right next time. Ew. I'm going to play this one out before I go, but Scott Andrews, remember there is no statute of limitations for war crimes. Breaking, the Israeli army mutilated the bodies to harvest organs of 80 Palestinians returned today. 2009, Israel admitted to stealing organs from Palestinians. Israel also admitted to mutilating Palestinian bodies for their skin bank. Skin bank. So, I mean, we've never heard of this before, right? People taking organs for experiments and stuff. That, you know, that's totally never happened in the past. And people were like horrified. And again, it's never happened before. Nico House, so Israel has a right to defend itself, but Palestinians don't have a right to exist because they choose to defend themselves against Israel's apartheid. Narcissistic abuser mentality. If you defend yourself against your abuser, it's your fault if you get abused again. Exactly. Let's look at this. We'll play this video out. This is Alexei Sayle, a Jewish British comedian, and this is it's got some good things to say about this. It's about 4 minutes long. Hold on.
Hi there. You know, I've generally fought shy of giving speeches or pronouncing directly on matters of politics or human rights or social justice. My feeling is that the comedian's job is to make comedy, to find humour in even the darkest situations. But there has been a trend in recent years for elderly Jewish comedians to bloviate without going through any artistic process on various topics. Now, being the most elderly of all the Jewish comedians, I want to get me some of that action. I've also dragged my cat, Wilf, into the proceedings in a blatant attempt to increase the clicks. Victory to Palestine! Now, the other elderly Jewish comedians have followed a line that entirely plays into the establishment ruling class narrative. They are an alternative to nothing. In the last few months, we have seen something I thought I'd never witness in my lifetime. A genocide carried out in Gaza with the complete connivance of our government and our stinking, spineless opposition. How many people know that Bethlehem is a Palestinian town in the territories illegally occupied by Israel? Palestinian Christians would normally be getting ready to celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ in Bethlehem. Peace, love, hope, etc. Not this year. Nothing has shown the hypocrisy of our political class and the gap between them and all decent people more than their silence in the face of mass murder. One of the elderly Jewish comedians has urged us all to stand with the Jewish people. Well, fair enough. The Jews I'm going to stand with are those of the Jewish bloc who I've marched with on all the pro-Palestine demonstrations. Over 1,000 Jews, and we've always been greeted with love, kindness and support from all those around us. I like what I heard from young Jews in the Jewish bloc on one of the huge demos. We were marching with thousands of people, Muslim, Christian, atheist, black, white, brown, gay, straight, trans, you name it. Everyone was marching together, wanting an end to war and slaughter. Their leaflet, the young Jews said, instead of looking to Israel to make Jews safe, we look instead to solidarity, freedom, justice and equality for Palestinians and Jews everywhere. If you want to stand with Jewish people, stand with the Jewish bloc. One final thing. If you see anybody advocating for Israel on the TV or radio, one of their repellent spokespeople say, then they will be lying, because that's what they do. They lie and 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 they lie. And they lie, 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 and they lie. So let's keep Palestine in our hearts and minds this Christmas. Wishing you all love and joy, but especially wishing for lasting peace and justice for Palestine.
All right. That's good stuff from Lexi So. Judy Truitt, welcome back. Glad to hear you're okay. Thanks for joining us again. Rich Diana, thanks for the very generous tip on Rockfin. I appreciate you, Rich. Thank you. Curo lives. Donde está Curo? Curo hikes. Is he hiking? Is he camping? What's Curo up to? I do remember Curo. He hasn't been around in a while. Although he hit me up. I saw on, I don't know, Instagram or somewhere. Maybe it was a couple of years ago. I hope he's okay. I hope he's all right. Wherever you are, Curo, I hope you're doing well. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate y'all listening in. Listening. And thanks for joining me every day on these interwebs. Yeah, glad to hear you're okay, Judy. I do bring you the show every day for free 99. So I rely on the viewers like you to help keep the show going. And if you want to do so, you can buymeacoffee.com/BlackBearNews. Buy me a coffee there. Cash App me at Red Llama Music. You can Venmo me at Kevin Sandblum. You can PayPal.me/Kevin Sandblum. You can Zelle me at KevinSandblum@ProtonMail.com. All right. Thanks again, guys. I'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. And until next time, peace.